Om Namah Shivaya, everyone. Om Namah Shivaya. A hearty welcome to one and all present here. Welcome to another session of AYUDH Wisdom Lecture Series. Let's begin the session with prayer. I invite Bharat PS from S3 BCA for prayer.
ध्यायामोधवलावगुण्ठनवतीं तेजोमयीं नैष्टिकीं स्निग्धापाङ्गविलोकिनीं भगवतीं मन्दस्मितश्रीमुखीं वात्सल्यामृतवर्षिणीं सुमधुरं सङ्कीर्तनालापिणीं श्यामाङ्गीं मधुसिक्तसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरीम् ॐ अमृतेश्वरे नमः ॐ अमृतेश्वरे नमः ॐ अमृतेश्वरे नमः.
Thank you, Bharat. India is becoming the world's fastest growing startup ecosystem with 107 unicorn startups as of this year 2022. In today's world, unicorn startups are not as uncommon as before. However, building a unicorn startup is not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, commitment and perseverance throughout the startup's journey to climb the ladders of unicorn. And entrepreneurs are the main and central engines of economic growth and progress in any country. They are often thought as the national assets to be refined, motivated, and remunerated to the greatest possible extent. Among this audience itself, there would be multiple people who wish to establish their own name in the corporate world with a signature of their own. Today, we have two such people who found their way to success as entrepreneurs. Let me have the pleasure and pride to welcome Mr. Ritwik Mekkayil and Ms. Pallavi M., the two brilliant minds behind the super popular tiny wooden miniatures under the name Gulbonda, India's first personalized figurines company. Mr. Ritwik Mekkayil, a mechanical engineer pass out from our campus and a software engineer by profession, is the founder and CEO of Gulbonda. Ms. Pallavi M., an architect, serves as the co-CEO and creative director of Gulbonda. And I feel extremely proud to say that both of them have been a part of Amrita family for over a decade. I cordially welcome you both to ignite the minds gathered here to navigate to their goals through this session titled Choosing the Life of an Entrepreneur. Welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am. We have a very enthusiastic audience of students, both from School of Engineering and School of Arts and Science gathered here. I wholeheartedly welcome you all to this session. Ma'am, sir, I kindly request you to address the audience, please.
Okay, good evening all. Namah Shivaya. So, in this occasion, I would like to thank Amrita Vishwavidyapitham and AYUDH for welcoming us here. It's a great honor for me as a student of Amrita to be here after 8 long years and to take a topic for all of you guys. So let me introduce myself initially. So I am Ritwik Mekkayil, as she told. I'm the CEO and founder of Gulbonda Private Limited, and here accompanies my wife and the co-CEO of the company. Pallavi, you can introduce her.
Yeah, I'm Pallavi. I'm the creative director and co-CEO of the company Gulbonda. Can you
keep this a bit closer?
You guys can hear me, right? Okay. So I'm Pallavi. I'm the co-CEO and the creative director of Gulbonda Private Limited. I deal everything with design, and Ritwik is the one who leads the company. Okay, it's his vision, and I'm the designer basically. I deal with everything regarding the branding and the designing of the products. Okay, So I hope you're clear about our designations. So we'll start with the presentation, right? Okay.
You can change the slide.
I'll just introduce the topic. So basically, I didn't want this topic to be something like skills of an entrepreneur or basics of entrepreneur. These are the topics that you guys are having in your textbooks, like basics, skills, like points to ponder, or like you guys will have those kind of things, right? So I didn't want that kind of a title for today's presentation, because this would be more like if you guys are having an idea in your mind, or you guys are going to pass out, many of you guys are going to pass out from this college, right? So after this, you guys will be having the dilemma of whether to choose a 9 to 5 job or pursue something like this. Go to EDI, like entrepreneur. There is actually a college in Ahmedabad that focus mainly on entrepreneurship development. Okay, I'll talk more about that later. So I wanted this title to be choosing the life of an entrepreneur. So this is more Ritwik will be dealing with everything regarding the terms. What is the meaning of the word entrepreneur? Why is it different from a normal business? And I'll be talking about how I'll be more of a storyteller today. Okay, I'll be talking more about the brand and our story, the decision why we chose entrepreneurship over a 9 to 5 job, everything like that. So let's get into the topic first. So yeah, you'll start, right?
Change the slide.
Yeah. So you're familiar with our names, right? So
Okay, guys. So I know most of you might be really confused, and this might be a relatively new topic to all of you guys, right? Am I audible? Yeah. Fine, fine. Hope I'm audible now. Okay. So as I said, I think this would be a new topic for all of you guys, right? I think we just study the definitions of entrepreneur and intrapreneur in our textbooks before. Okay. So we'll initially understand what the term means. Okay, what the term entrepreneur means. So in order to understand what an entrepreneur is, you need to understand what a traditional businessman is. Okay, am I audible?
yeah, I think.
Okay, so let's understand the terms, both the terms first. So, okay, so could you please change the slide?
Before we start, I would like to ask you people, how many of you have heard the word entrepreneur? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, many hands. Startup? Right, okay. So you guys are familiar with the word, right? Okay.
This is fine. Yeah. Okay, so I can see that, I can see that whenever we go for a discussion, so last week when I go for a founders meet, so there was a lot of founders there who are having startups which is like 5-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old. So what we understand from there is like even founders of startups with 3 to 4 years of experience have this doubt of what is a traditional businessman and who an entrepreneur is. Okay, so let me explain you. So I think all of you might be using Amazon, right? Amazon.in. Okay, so when you search for something on Amazon, you will be having like multiple options. If you search for a trimmer, if you search for a pen drive, you can see like 10 to 15 sellers selling the same thing. Okay, I think everybody of you might have experienced that. Okay, so you can see a few examples of coconut oils there. Okay, so these people are selling the same item. Okay, the same product in different packages. Okay, so you can't call that an startup or an entrepreneur. Okay, these are the traditional business people. Okay, so not just coconut oil, you can see all kind of products. So they will be purchasing these products from a supplier in China or a supplier in Mumbai. So if you see the first 15 listings of Amazon, you need to understand that all these products might be purchased from a single supplier. Okay, we get this to the different business people get this to their go downs, and they pack it in different packages and they just sell it. Okay, so that's what an ordinary businessman do. Okay, so let's get into the points that a traditional business deal. Okay, so the idea is an existing idea. The products are also existing, and there might be services. So currently we have services for many things. For all the problems, we have a startup right now. So even though in case of services, if it's not an innovative service, if it's not an innovative product, it's called a traditional business. And the person who does that is called a businessman. Okay? So it's kind of a bit easy for a traditional businessman because they can find people who have already done that. So you can just follow the path of that person. Okay, so, and coming to the R&D portion, so we can see that there is like very minimum or no R&D required for a traditional business. So we always say that a traditional businessman is a market player because there will be always too many competitors in the market. As I told you, in Amazon, you'll have a lot of sellers. So we have a tight competition in the market. But we can say that the risk is very low. Risk is very low in the sense we don't need to put a lot of money into R&D. We don't need to put a lot of money into hiring new people in order to build the product, in order to experiment the product. Okay, so I think you guys got a brief idea about what a traditional businessman is and what a traditional business is. Okay, so I don't want you to get confused between a business and a startup. Okay.
I just wanted to add something. Like after you pass out of college, those who want to start something on their own, like a venture or something, the first thing that comes to their mind is like make a product or a service, right? Like to have a business, you need a product or a service, right? For example, we have displayed a example of a coconut oil, okay? A few other examples are beauty products, for example, okay? And if I say I'm using natural ingredients in my beauty products, there might be other competitors as well, right? Or else I'm starting a bakery, okay? There are other bakeries out there. If I'm talking about a service, maybe I'll be having a marketing agency or a printing shop, something like that, okay? Or maybe I'm manufacturing chips, like let's say potato chips, okay? You've heard about several names in the market, right? Potato chips, Lay's, Bingo, you've heard that, right? Those are traditional businesses, okay? So there is already a product out there in the market which already consumers are using, okay? So if a person is entering in the market, he has to rebrand itself, the brand, change its name, change its packaging. There's not much R&D required to build a product or a service, right? And the competitors already exist, like he told. Like there may be other players in the market. That's why I've put the title traditional businessman as the market player, okay? And he can expect sales from day one. Like talking about a hardware store maybe. Like a person selling a hardwares. So there are other hardware shops out there. He'll be selling the same thing. So if you go after 4 years to the hardware shop, you can see there might not be much changes in the shop, right? You guys have gone to hardware shops, right? Electronic shops, hardware shops, you've been there, right? And there might be low risk factor. Why is it a low risk factor? Why am I given that? Is that there is low risk of failure because he's following somebody else's path, right? Somebody had already established a business in chips or potato chips. So the other player can easily walk in that path, okay? So that's what is a traditional business, a bakery, a chips, or if you browse Amazon, you'll get a lot of products like that. Like the same kind of earphones, the same kind of coconut oil, okay? So I hope you guys are clear about the traditional business kind of. I'm not saying that is wrong or starting your traditional business is wrong or something.
No, there are big players in traditional business. You can see Reliance, right? Reliance supermarkets. But you can see the same products in Reliance and other supermarkets also, right? Maybe Reliance might be giving it for a lower cost. Okay, so there is a high competition, but they will get sales from day one, because every supermarket will have like 100 customers a day, right? So the risk is free because there is a lot of consumers. You don't need to educate any consumer on these kind of products, right? For example, if it's a new product, like if it's Ola or Uber. Okay, so how many of you are using Ola or Uber or have used it already? Okay, it's been how many years you guys are using it? Maybe 3 or 4 years, right? Okay, the company has launched it like almost 10 years. Okay, so think like how much time did we take to use the applications? Okay, so you guys are younger generation, you guys took this much time to adopt that. Okay, so think about our elder people, our parents. So when will they use that? So the company, you would have heard that these companies are in loss. So these are startups actually. So why they are in loss? Why bigger companies like Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, everybody is using that according to our concept. So why they are in loss? Can anybody answer? Okay, why they are in loss? Because there is a very hard path for these companies in order to educate the customers. Okay, so the customer education is one of the most difficult part an entrepreneur and a startup faces. Even we can think about Google Pay. So currently we are all using Google Pay, right? So we don't even have wallets while we are traveling, most of the people. But it took a long time in order for us to use it. So even now my parents aren't using Google Pay because they don't trust it. Okay.
They always ask us to carry money in your pocket, always. Like, they're afraid that, it took that much time. Even my parents don't use Google Pay. But for example, if you see a new coconut oil in the supermarket, your dad will buy and get it home, right? Because it's obvious. It's an obvious product. So they're not scared to use it. Okay, so they're not scared to use it. For example, Google Pay or like, can you imagine your parents using like Google Pay or maybe Airbnb or something? No, right? So it's not obvious. It's not an obvious product. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide, which is entrepreneur, the market leader. Okay, the other one was traditional business, the market player. Okay. So Ritwik will be talking about why an entrepreneur is called the market leader.
Okay, so I'm sure that many of the logos which is given out there might be familiar to you, right? Okay, Airbnb, I think all of you know about Airbnb, BYJU'S, Either, the electric vehicle, Red Bus. Okay, so could you please tell me, anybody, so why these are called startups? Yes, it's a fresh idea. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, everything is an innovative idea, right? And we can see that all the logos out there is a solution for a particular problem. Okay. We can think about BYJU'S. Like everybody is going for tuition, right? We physically we walk and we go to the tuition centers. Okay, so after BYJU'S, we are doing it online. Okay, during Corona also we found that everything is online. Okay, so Either, it's an electric scooter. So it's a completely innovative idea, and these ideas are also called disruptive ideas. I'll just explain about that in the coming slides. Okay, so, and you can see Lenskart there. So does anybody know about Lenskart? About the founder, Piyush Bansal? Okay, so one of the important thing about Lenskart is that, so previously there was no online portal which is completely for the eyeglasses. Okay, so Lenskart bring eyeglasses into market via online. Okay, and they did a very good job in scaling up the business. Okay, what is scaling up the business? Another point. Scaling up the business is increasing the sales and increasing the customer by keeping the expenses and the number of employees constant. Okay, so I'll tell you how Lenskart did that. Okay, so previously how it happens is like the glasses will be manufactured by a third party and a mediator will buy these glasses in bulk, and these guys get these into different eyewear stores. Okay, so we are paying the manufacturer, we are paying the mediator, and we are paying a commission to the store that we are purchasing the same. Okay, so what Lenskart did is like they introduced robots in order to make the glasses. So every glass made in Lenskart is made by robots. There is no hands touching in that. So I think most of you would have gone to Lenskart stores, right? Anybody?
Everybody, right?
Most.
Like
Even
people.
I am using
You've
a Lenskart
accompanied your
glass.
friends maybe to a Lenskart store.
Okay, so you will give an order there, they will ship it to your home in like 5 days time, maximum 7 days time. Okay, so what is the benefit there? Lenskart is having very limited employees for manufacturing. Okay, and also the cost, we don't give the extra cost to the moderator, to the manufacturer, a commission to the store owner. So everything is in one hand. So what they did is like there was an enormous decrease in the cost of the lenses.
That's how they cut their prices. When you compare it with the normal eyewear shop near your home or something. We are giving money to him also, right? He's taking a commission from the product, right? Are you getting my point? Yes.
Yes, okay. So these are the specialities of startups. So you can't see another brand like Lenskart right now. So maybe competitors might come, some people might copy their idea or get inspired by Lenskart, but currently it's a very unique idea. Okay, and the next logo there is OYO rooms. So I'm sure that most of the people right here would have used it at least once, right? OYO rooms. So what is the problem they have solved? Seek accommodation, yeah. Again,
What about the service?
pardon? Okay, so let me explain about OYO. So what the brand did is, so previously we don't have any option to see reviews about a hotel, right? So what our parents did, so whenever we travel to some places like, for example, if we travel to Delhi, so only after getting in there, we go to a hotel, right? Might be we would have called the hotel owner and booked it. So you wouldn't have seen the photographs or anything of the hotel. You wouldn't have seen a review of the hotel. So now what happens is like we can see the review, we can see the photographs of the rooms that we are staying. Okay, there might be small problems with OYO right now, but they are strongly building it to make it perfect. Okay, so that's what OYO did. And also, one of the major thing about OYO is that previously, for example, if a couple is going out for anything, and if they're staying out, it was a big problem, right? As couples, they can't go anywhere and they can't stay anywhere. In OYO, you can see that even if you're going for a meeting with your partner or a friend, you can't stay anywhere. It was like scary to stay in a hotel with your partner. So right now they have made it easy. You can you can just go to their terms and see that they've clearly mentioned it there. Okay, so that's one major thing about OYO, and I think you all would have know about Uber, right? Uber. Okay, in cities it's like it's the biggest example for a disruption market. Okay, so when we travel to Cochin at least, you can see a lot of taxis waiting in the stand, right? So what we do? So these Uber people, they won't come to the taxi stand. But what we do is like the driver will call us, we'll go through the back of some other building and we'll get into the cab.
Have anybody experienced that? Yeah, right?
Yeah. So however people resist against these startups, they will definitely survive because we need them more. Okay. So I think Swiggy is the other name. So most of you would have used Swiggy or Zomato, right? So both Swiggy and Zomato, we can be proud of both these companies because both the biggest leaders in food market, they are Indians.
What is their unique selling point? Can anybody answer? Other than food delivery? Imagine you've seen their ads, right? A relative coming to your home and your mom is like tired and she'll be saying, no, I'm not going to make anything, order something from Swiggy, no? That is their unique selling point, okay? Like fast food delivery is their unique selling point, okay? They know Indians clearly. So so that's what their unique selling point is. Okay, so let's look at some points in the slide, okay, and how an entrepreneur is different from a traditional business owner. So Ritwik, you can tell them.
Yeah, so as you guys told, it's a completely innovative idea. You can say that it's a problem for a particular solution. Okay, so yeah, the startups might take like 5 to 10 years. Some bigger startups might take like even 5 to 10 years in order to complete the R&D and release their products. Okay, so
You've heard about the word prototypes, right? How many prototypes would have either built before they launched their scooter? You can imagine, right? They are not like for a chips owner, you can just pack your chips and go place it in the supermarket. But for either, you can imagine, right, how much R&D he has gone through, right? That is the example.
okay, does anybody watch Shark Tank here? You would have seen either, right, in Indian Shark Tank. Okay, so yeah, the next point is serving an untapped market. So I think there is no market for these kind of products, right? So initially there is no market. So the entrepreneur is building the market. So that's why we call him the market leader. So if we think in case of Byju's, when the Byju's learning app was released, there was no education apps before. So they are the first one and they lead the market. Okay, and one of the most problem that an entrepreneur faces is the need to educate the customer. So we might think it's very easy, but even the slightest thing, it is like really difficult to make the customer understand what the brand is.
Yeah, just like how you ask your mom, dad to use Google Pay. Just pay, no? You guys will say that, right? This is how many times should I ask you guys to pay on Google Pay? I've taught you like a million times, right? We ask them to do it. Next time you'll do it, no? And your papa will say, yes, from next time I'll use it. And then you'll see him giving money to the shopkeeper, right? So that is what he's talking about. You have to educate the customer regarding your product.
Whenever we go for an outing to a different state or different city, so if we are with our parents, they don't believe in OYO now. So when we say that we already booked the OYO room, so still they will try finding some other numbers of hotels and they'll call
Rajesh
them.
Mama has a very good hotel out there. Why stay in a different hotel like that? I know him from 10 years. You come stay with us, they'll say.
And
Even if the money is like not cheap.
And they'll have a confusion that OYO is expensive, even though it is cheap. Okay, so, and we can look at the risk factor. So risk factor is extremely, it's very uncertain because there might be a different startup instead of OYO, which would have prepared before OYO. They would have failed in educating the customer. They would have failed in their marketing strategies. Okay, these are all successful logos, right? So I think there might be like 5 to 6 brands tried everything before and failed.
There might be many business names that are not on the slide, which would have failed before these guys came. Okay, and it takes 1 or more years to generate revenue. Why did I put that? You guys have any idea? Because when you need that much time to educate a customer, your idea just don't work overnight. It does not become successful overnight. Okay, so it's not an obvious product. So the customer don't pay you. He needs to give you the credit card, make the purchase and get it, right? It doesn't happen. So that's why I put it, it takes 1 or more year to generate revenue. Okay.
Okay, so one more thing I need to add on is that a startup requires a huge amount of fund. If the innovation is really critical or really difficult, we need an initial amount, a bigger amount in order to start the project at least. So do you guys have any idea how startups get money in the beginning? Yeah, angel investors. Other than that, bank loans. Mostly startups won't go for bank loans.
How would they pay the interest?
And also for most of the startups, bank doesn't offer loan.
For an
Okay.
idea, how do they offer loan? Many startups will be in an idea stage. They won't even have a product.
They'll have this list printed at bank and they'll tell that you will never get a loan now. So if we want to take a loan from a bank for a business at least, they need to show the revenue for the last year, or at least they need to be in a safe market. So that for most of the entrepreneurs that won't be possible. Okay, so the one option that you guys told is correct. That is angel investors. So
It's
do you
not
guys?
the correct way to do it, if I may say. Right? Getting a loan from the bank. They might be confused.
Okay, so do you guys know what is angel investors? Yeah. Okay. Somebody who invests money into a startup, right? Okay, so there is one more option there, that is venture capitalist. So do you guys have any idea about what a venture capitalist is? And what is the difference between the both?
You've heard about VCs, right? That's the full form of VC, venture capitalist.
Okay. So angel investor, as you told, it's an individual giving money, investing money into a startup. Okay. So on the other hand, venture capitalist belongs to a company. Okay. So he will be investing public money. Maybe it's an insurance company. It's a capitalist company who invests to different businesses. Okay. So most of the startups in the initial stage, they'll go for an angel investor, because angel investors won't have a very strict screening on your business. Okay, whereas a VC, that's a venture capitalist, so they'll be having a very strict screening on your business. Screening in the sense, they'll have a look at your revenue, your past 1 year revenue, like how scalable your business is. Scalable, as I told you in case of Lenskart, so they have reduced the number of employees, they have reduced the initial capital in order to make the sales huge and to make the production very high. Okay, so most of the startups will go to an angel investor. So that's an individual who invests on their business. But the funds that an angel investor give might be very limited compared to a venture capitalist. Maybe an angel investor might be spending something like 10 to 20 lakhs in the beginning. For most of the startups, in the beginning, they might compromise with that amount. Okay, but in case of a venture capitalist, mostly startups will have like 2 to 3 rounds of funding. Okay, so, and also, do you guys know what the startups will give in return after, if an angel investor invests in a company? Yeah, they'll provide stake or share. Okay, so in return of the money, he'll be getting a particular amount of share, and also it depends upon the contract the startup that have with the investor, VC or the angel investor. So most of the VCs will look for a monthly return or a yearly return. Completely depends upon the contract. Okay, so telling about the screening, so there are different parameters on which the VCs or angel investors, they will measure your startup. Okay, so one of the oldest parameter that will measure the startups is the revenue. The revenue of the startup and the turnover. You might have heard about the turnover, right? 1 year, 3.3 crore turnover, 10 crore turnover, 5 billion turnover. So we see this in news. And also, that is one of the oldest method. Even now, people are using that. Okay, but you can see a lot of startups like Swiggy, Zomato. So currently, the turnover is very high. The profit made by these brands are still low, right? So how a VC or how a venture angel investor might invest in that? So how will they invest in that? Okay, so there is one term called opportunity costing. Okay, so we can see that for like 5 to 6 years, Facebook is having a lot of users. We can say that they are acquiring Instagram, they are acquiring WhatsApp. So still you can see WhatsApp, right? Currently we can see WhatsApp. So does anyone of you know how WhatsApp is earning? So what is the profit of WhatsApp? No, right? I think most of you won't be knowing because they don't have a proper revenue mechanism right now, but they have a lot of customers. So if you have an updated version of WhatsApp, you'll be having a UPI, right? A payment option. So they're slowly starting to include the revenue mechanisms. And also, you might see a green tick or blue tick account from which you will get messages, right? Each messages are paid. The companies pay like 1 rupee 40 paise for a single message. Okay, so think about companies like Reliance, Oyo. So how much they'll be paying? They'll have like 10 lakh customers or 20 lakh customers, even crores of customers in India. So when everybody pays 1 rupee 40 paise for a single message, it's a bigger source of revenue, right? Okay, but still, it's been only 1.5 years WhatsApp is getting revenue back. So up to that, it's been almost 10 years, right? I think it's been almost 10 years. Everybody has a WhatsApp. Okay, so up to now, up to that time, there was no revenue for the brand. And at the time, Meta, currently Facebook is termed as Meta, right? So when Meta took WhatsApp, there was only like 20 employees in the company. Okay, so they took the company seeing the opportunity, seeing the huge opportunity of all Indians using the hassle-free platform to message, send images, and everything. Okay, so I think you guys have got at least a brief understanding about what an angel investor is, what a venture capitalist is, what are the things they look before investing into a startup. Okay. Yeah, you can tell it later. Okay. So as I've told you about disruption ideas before, right? I told you OYO is a high market disruption idea. Because you can see that if all the youngsters are using OYO, if all the youngsters are using Google Pay, previously you would have seen the cookie business, right? The toffee business. So we used to get the 1 rupee toffee or 2 rupee toffee after paying as a change. Okay, so there was a news that the toffee business is completely ruined. Okay, why it's ruined? No more changes, right? So even you can pay like 0.21 paise to a shopkeeper when he has Google Pay, right?
41.5 rupees. Like before they used to give you chocolates, right? Which we don't eat. Our dad would definitely like have a bunch of them in his pocket, or you will see them with your changes, like with the 2 rupee 1 rupee coin. You will definitely see that small toffees. That is what he's talking about.
Okay, so some ideas disrupt the market. So the market start forming again. Okay, so OYO is a great idea. Uber is an idea. So we are from Calicut. There is actually a fight happening between the local taxis and Uber in Calicut. So however they try to stop it, somehow people wants it, right? So we will go to the back door and get the taxis. Okay, so mainly when we look into disruption ideas, there are two kinds of disruption ideas. So I think you guys have got a brief about what is a disruption idea. Is it like a new startup comes into picture and it destroys the revenue of other normal businesses. Okay, so there are two types. One is low and disruptive model. So this is where a product is introduced, a cheaper product is introduced, which have all the specifications of the older available product. Okay, so everybody will go for the cheaper one, right? Nobody will go for the costly one if the specifications are same. Okay, the second one is high-end disruptive model. So that's the one I talked about. OYO rooms, Uber, Ola, everything is like high-end disruptive models. Okay, so that's it. You can see. Okay, so I'll hand over to Pallavi now. So I think you got a brief understanding about what a startup is. Okay, because when I left my college, I didn't have any hope that I'll become an entrepreneur. So I studied here, I got a placement, I worked there. So only when I started working, when I become uncomfortable in that situation, like things start coming. Okay, so some dreams comes at that time. If you're uncomfortable, if you're really comfortable doing something, you don't do anything. Okay, so if you feel uncomfortable, something is there to come, something big is there to come. So when I left the college, I didn't have any idea what an entrepreneurship is. So here there is a business incubator here. So I didn't even take time to go there and understand what's happening here. So the business incubator, so most of the colleges are not having that. So you guys have got a very good opportunity. So none of you can predict now what you will become in the future. So I've seen only few people who have the same dream from the childhood and becoming that dream. So 90% of people are like, we'll dream somewhere in the path. Somewhere if you get a completely uncomfortable job, or if something is troubling you, only then you start dreaming and you start working on it. So I think it will be really good if you understand these terms, what an entrepreneur is, what a business is, what a startup is. Okay, so that's it. So Pallavi, now just give a description about what our brand is, what we're doing, what are the hardships that we went through in the last 5 years. Okay?
I'll be the storytelling person here. Okay, I'm about to say, I'm about to tell you the story of Gulbonda. Have anybody thought about this question? What does Gulbonda mean? Right? Even our parents laughed like that. Okay, so I'll tell you from the beginning. So the initial stage is like after college. Okay, so yeah, so I'll introduce you to us as kids. Okay, for me, I always wanted to be an animator. I wanted to go in the animation field. Back then in 2011, when I was like writing my board exams, our relatives, our people around you ask, what do you want to become? Even my teacher. So I told her that I will definitely become an animator. I'll definitely pursue a career in animation, because I used to watch cartoons. Now also I watch cartoons and I love that. Okay, I love storytelling, and I told my mom and dad that I'm going to become an animator. So they mocked at me and they told me, see Pallavi, you are not understanding the fact that the animation field doesn't have any scope. That's what they tell you, right? It doesn't have the scope. So I was stubborn, and I somehow didn't want to end up in an engineering college. It's not a bad thing. I knew that it was not for me. Okay, so I told them definitely engineering is not for me. I was good in bio. I took biomath in 12th grade. I was really good in bio, and my granddad was a doctor, and he wanted me to become a doctor. And even I thought back in 5th standard. Okay, so I convinced my parents, and I told them that I would definitely join a design background profession. So I chose architecture. Okay, that's how, like many of the people who want to become a fine art teacher, or who want to pursue a career in fine art, will definitely end up in architecture. If you meet some of your architecture students, you'll definitely know. Many of them will end up in architecture colleges or interior design colleges. Okay, so after graduating as an architecture student in 2016, I graduated in 2016. Back then he was doing his engineering in Amrita, and I by the end of my architecture education, I was sure that I would pursue my animation career. Okay, so I wanted to write stories. I love comics, and I wanted to do something in that field. So after doing internships in a few firms, I took this decision that I'm not going back. Designing buildings is not my cup of tea. So again, so I was really stubborn at that time. So I told my parents, see, I've took architecture. I've earned a degree myself. Now it's my decision. Let me give me a chance to make my own decision. So what I did was, I took a small break. And the one thing my parents were really confused is that you have to earn, right? You have completed, it's a 5-year course, actually, architecture. So they were pretty confused and they were scared for me. Like, how is this girl going to make money? Like, how is she going to stand on her legs? I was like, see, if I want to earn, there's a way. I'm going to teach architecture, okay? And I'm going to pursue my, I'm going behind my dream. So that's how I took architecture NATA coaching classes for students. I was earning my bit from there. And I took this money and I joined an art class where I learned how to draw and paint. Okay. So meanwhile, so in 12th grade, in 11th grade, Ritwik and I fell in love and we were in a relationship at that time. My mom and dad already knew that. Okay. And they knew that like these guys liked each other. So let Ritwik get a job. Okay. So he was a 9-pointer in the college and he got a job in Tech Mahindra Chennai and he was working there back in 2016. Okay. After he passed out from the college, he was working in Chennai. And at that time, when I was teaching NATA for the students, I was more kind of the DIY girl. Okay. So I was making flowers out of paper. Okay. So I didn't want these flowers to just sit at home. I wanted this product or this thing that I made to be put out in the world. At that time back then, people used Facebook pages to sell their products. Everyone had their Ashwati page and you'll see a small page where they sell their products, like they'll be having handmade jewelry back then. Okay. So I also made a page like that. And my first few customers were from my family itself. So at that time, I had to sell this flowers that I made. So I asked Ritwik, how are you going to set the price for these flowers that I made? So I had a product, I had to sell it to someone, right? So he was really good at numbers. So he told me, you do this and this. He really wanted to do, like he wanted to become an entrepreneur at that time when he joined. He knew that this IT sector is not for him. And when I kept on asking him how we are going to sell this, he was really interested in that. So that's how I started, that's how we became a team. And we both studied in the same school from kindergarten till 12th grade. So you guys can imagine how good we are at understanding each other. So he used to complete my sentences and we made 3 sales at first. Okay, so we sold these flowers and I knew something that I made is definitely getting attraction from customers. So I knew that I was creative, I can make things and he can sell things. Okay, that's how the combination, the chemistry worked out. So after that, when he came back after work every day, we used to discuss ideas. And he asked me, can you scale up the business? I was used to making these flowers with my own hands like this. It took so many hours to make one bouquet. So I told him, this is not going to happen if you want to serve a larger audience. Okay? So what he did is that after every day, after coming back from work, we used to discuss several ideas, what we are going to sell. We knew that this is what we want to do in life and we make a great team. So we discussed several ideas, like we had many stupid ideas like sheep farms. His dad actually, his dad is actually into business, but a small business kind of a thing. So he sourced wood from old buildings, okay? Demolished buildings and sell wood from that to architects and builders. Okay, so we were like, let's make furnitures. I was clear that I didn't wanted to make buildings, but I told him that let's make furnitures out of this. Then he was like, it's my dad's business. I'm not going to start something like that. Okay, so we didn't want to do that. Then we made this decision and we read a lot of articles at that time. And we heard a lot of audio books. You know, right, what audio books are. So we used to listen to audiobooks and my mom used to think that I was listening to music. I was like, with my earphones, I was like making my company in my head at that time. Okay, so Ritwik was working in Chennai and we built a mask with a, like at that time, Ritwik was noticing that many of his friends were wearing dupattas all around their faces to protect them from the sun. Chennai, you've been to Chennai, right? It's a very hot place. Like it's a very sunny place, and people coming to his offices, like most of the lady staffs and girls were wrapping dupattas all around their faces. So I told him that we'll make something. There's a problem, we'll make something. Okay. I didn't put that product in the slide because it was like really stupid. So I want you guys to see that. So we made a version of a dupatta. We stitched it. He was still in Chennai, and I with my mom went to stitching shops and made prototypes regarding that. And we showed it to the users, which is his colleagues, and they didn't want the product. They were like, we are okay with the dupattas. Please don't disturb us. We are happy with it.
It was actually like the Minnal Murali mask.
Yeah,
that we
exactly. Yeah, exactly like that. So they didn't want this Minnal Murali mask wrapped all around their faces. So that idea was a failure. So the next thing was that I noticed, I told you about the Facebook pages, right? Where the small business owners like moms making jewelry and things like that. So I told Ritwik that people are making Facebook pages, but they don't have a website to sell it. Back then, many of the people didn't know how to make a website. Now we have platforms like Wix and all, no? You have your own website. Some of you might have, right? And they were not familiar with, none of them where they had good products, but they didn't know how to reach customers or a website to showcase their products. So we decided to make a website, an online platform, a marketplace for sellers to something. It's not like Amazon, but a niche website. You know what is a niche, right? Something particular. So we wanted a niche marketplace for people to showcase their products, and we made a beautiful website. I at my home learned how to talk to these sellers, like or the moms or people who are making, and he learned how to use WordPress and how to build a website. So both of us were already in the making of our brand and the business, and he was still going to work. At one point of time, Ritwik was absolutely sure that he has to discontinue his job at Chennai, because we are making, like there was something to look forward to, and this entrepreneurship idea was giving us the energy to wake up every morning. We had something to look forward to every morning, right? So we woke up every day, and one day Ritwik told me that I'm quitting my job. So I was like, back then, I told Ritwik to join a company.
Actually, she told me to save for next 6 to 7 months so that we'll have something like 3 lakhs with us. We'll safely do business with that.
We'll have the money to do. You struggle there and make money for me to make a website, then come back. Comfortably, we'll start a business. But he was at, I cannot explain you guys when this decision making would happen in your head actually. It's actually, what to say, you've, anybody seen Hotel Transylvania? Yes, right? There's a word called zing, right? it's falling in love with someone. This is like falling in love with your idea, right? When that zing happens, no, there is no turning back. I don't know how to explain that to you. So when that happens, you have the courage, even though you don't have a penny in your hand. I won't say a penny. We had with a limited amount of revenue, or the rupees that I was making from my Nata coaching classes, and he quit his job, and we decided, yes, this is what we want to do, and we'll make a great team. So that's how it started. And going back to the marketplaces, the marketplace was, it actually ended up in failure. We launched it in 2017 September, and it was actually a failure. Why, I'll tell you. One thing is, we had absolutely no knowledge of running a business before, one, okay? And second thing was wrong partnership. I'll tell you about that story. When we started, we had a lot of pressure going in our head. One, mainly from families. I didn't actually tell my mom that Ritwik had quit his job. Okay? Yeah, that's how. Because they are not going to, like it. So, I told them that I lied to them. And of course, after a few weeks, they knew that we had discussions going on in phone. They heard that we are discussing, and he came to meet me at home. I was designing the website and all, no? So they knew that something fishy was happening. So at the end of a period of time, I had to tell them that, Mom, Dad, this is what we are going to do. There were a lot of familial pressures in our head, and we didn't know how to. My dad and mom kept on telling me, I'll give you 4 months time. I'll give you 2 months time. Make this happen or else you're going back to work. Of course, you'll feel scared, and I've written fear of failure, right? At the end. I'll tell you why that I've written that in big font. Okay? So when this pressure happens, you self-doubt yourself. Is this going to happen for me? Like, am I going to fail? What am I going to do after if this fails? We're doing something, we have a lot of sellers who are waiting for the products to sell, right? I've called several moms and people who are already making stuff, right? I've asked them to join. They trust me on this, right? So what am I going to do if this ends up in failure? So what we did was, we had a family friend. He told me there's a digital marketing guy. At that time, it was not so much familiar. We were not so much familiar with.
It's like 5 to 6 years back.
Yeah. So this guy does Google SEO and everything. So we told my family friend that, we'll take him as a partner or something, let him help us. So he told me if he wants to join the company, he said, I also have to join the company. Okay, so a guy who doesn't know anything about entrepreneurship, a guy who runs a normal traditional business. That's why I told you a printout shop or a branding marketing company or something. He was into a marketing company. Okay, he owned a marketing company. So somebody who doesn't know anything about entrepreneurship or what we are trying to achieve came into our company. And again, there was this guy who knew. My family friend told me he's the pakka person for you. He works with so many Arabs in Dubai. So he's a great hacker and everything. So we're like, yeah, okay, we've got our digital marketing person. So what they did was, even before we launched the idea, launched the market, they wrote a partnership deed with us. Okay? We were, when you're under a lot of pressure, and that fourth point, no, fear of failure comes into your mind, you do all those stupid things when you're starting initially. Okay? So that's how we end up signing partnership deed with these two people. Okay? So what happened is, Ritwik and I, we didn't have a rescue boat. Okay? This was our rescue boat. This was our baby and we had to save it. So we constantly wanted to conduct meetings with these two guys. These two guys were not available at any time. They had their own business, no. One was digital marketing and the other guy had another business. So this was something like a side business to them. Okay, so they didn't have any kind of an interest in our business, or they'll say, we'll keep a meeting on Friday, and Ritwik and I will be working overnight building this. We'll constantly get calls from the sellers. Did you get any sales? Pavam. They were like really pavam at that time. So they told me, like, you'll get sales na, like after 2 months. We said, yeah, you guys can wait. We are working on it, and they trusted us really like that. So what happened is, at one point of time, we didn't have sales. When we launched the website, we didn't have much sales in the like 1 to 2 months. So these guys kept on calling us, like, did you make any sales? So we had that pressure, the family pressure and everything. So what we did was that there was the flea market happening in Bangalore. Okay, you guys know what a flea market is. Like, they showcase their products in small tents like that. So we heard that there is something like this happening. So for this to make, for these products to come in front of people, Ritwik and I told these partners that we are going for this flea market. Okay, so we are going to mingle with real customers, and maybe we'll make some sales for the pavam sellers. So they told us that you're doing the wrong thing. They were into traditional business. So what this traditional business guys does is that they'll definitely have a visiting card. They'll definitely have a, bill paper where they write the bills. And they told us that without all these, you guys are not a brand itself. Where are you guys going with all these products? They told us. So we actually had a small fight with them. We told them that, see, you have a business with you. We are struggling actually. We have to do this. They didn't believe us because we were young, right? They were much older than us. So they told that you can't go like this. So Ritwik told me after this discussion that we are going. Okay, anyways, those guys are not going to listen to us. They are not putting any kind of an input in our company. They're just working on their businesses, not interested in our business. So Ritwik and I took the decision to go to the flea which was happening in Bangalore. Okay, so we went to Bangalore, we sold a few items, and we had a clash with the partners. So finally it had to end because the partners were not happy with us taking that decision. They didn't believe in us. That is why I put that second point as wrong partnerships or wrong team members. Okay. Third thing was we outsource products, right? We never even saw these products. We had bags, jewelry, we had, dresses in our marketplace, but we didn't see these products. It was like a outsourced product. So we called each seller when a sale came and we told them to ship it directly to the customers. Okay. So we had shipping partners. So they went there and collected their goods and delivered. One day a customer called us. Okay. She was really angry and she told us, aren't you guys seeing the product that you're selling? It's such a stupid product. It's ruined. It's ruined my wedding function. She actually wanted this kurta for a wedding, but it was like torn and, sometimes you get, right, wrong products or, products which are not good. Some products will be stained or, So she was really angry at us and we were like at the verge of crying. So we told her that this is our, we are really sorry, this is our, we'll try doing something. And she told me at the end, she told me, see, you guys have to see the product that you're selling. You can't just outsource something and give it to us. You better start looking at these products on your own. And she told us it's okay, I understand and all, finally. So we outsourced products. It was one reason that we failed. And the fear of failure. That was the main thing that drove us to choosing the wrong partners. Okay. So we had to end that business in 2017 itself. Okay. So the next thing is embracing failures. So many startups fail because of the fear of failure itself. First thing, pressures. Then they won't be having the courage to start the second business. For us, I actually didn't collect my college certificate from my college. I didn't want that rescue boat to save me. Because if I collected my college certificates, I'm definitely going back to my profession. So I somehow didn't go to my college to collect my degree certificate. It's actually my decision, okay? It's my decision to do that because I really didn't want to go back to that architecture profession. So what happened with us is that Ritwik and I, we took the failure, took the pain to power. How do you know, do you guys know when a person fails, ultimately after like girls will definitely know, after crying a lot, you'll get this courage from somewhere to stand up on your feet again, right? You do this and you'll definitely, after a big failure and after thinking about, we really didn't want to quit. So we had each other. The only people that we had was each other at that time. No, our parents were like full, making a full funda at the house. They were like, this is not going to happen. And they were not, they were scared that how we'll survive after marriage. And they told me, this is not going to happen. Your relationship is also not going to happen. So what we did was, we had to shift ourselves or our startup to a small working place. Right, we have to move from home so that we'll have some time and peace of mind to work on the idea. So what I did was, I was teaching in a Nata coaching class, right? So I asked the Nata coaching, that owner of the center, to give me small space in his computer learning center. So there was this teacher who was teaching computer to a lot of women. So he told me, "You, Pallavi, do one thing. You're a really good teacher. So I'm giving you a small space in my computer class." So we had a small space, like for two people to sit. Like it'll be like a, you guys have computer class, right? So like a small 60 to 60 centimeter, like this was our table, this was our company. Okay, small sized. So we had a laptop, we had our heads, and we rolled our sleeves, and we told we are going to get back up again. So what we did after, what we did after this is that we decided that the product will be definitely ours. Okay, we had to touch and feel our product, and after confirming that it is best in quality only, we'll serve it to the customers, right? So that's how the story of the brand came. So after the clash with the other partners, we started in 2018, June 9th. I clearly remember that was the day when we started our Facebook page. We didn't have a this and all. We didn't have a product or anything. We had just the brand name. So the last brand had a name which was, the brand name had a meaning. It had a, what kind of a?
It had a
Russian name or something, okay? Okay, so this time Ritwik told me, I asked him what would be the name of our next brand. So Ritwik is a person who put nicknames to all his classmates, our family, everything. So the name he suggested was Gulbonda. And I told him, are you mad or what? Like already my parents are like they are angry with me. Are you like mad to put something like this? Put something like the dash company or something like that? No. So he told me, fix this as a name. And we started on June 9th, 2018. I clearly remember this because I was writing the name of my Facebook page. We didn't have a product, but we had the Gulbonda Facebook page. We had the Gulbonda, the Twitter page, the Tumblr page. We had everything. Okay, so the first thing that we did was search in Google. He searched Gulbonda. So the Google showed no search results. Obviously, there
was a guy in Uganda with the same name.
Something like that. Yeah, there was no like search results like that. There was no company like that. So I went back home and my mom asked me, what are you guys doing from that tuition center? So I told her that we are making Gulbonda. And you guys can think what she have told me. Okay. So you guys are laughing, right? This is how the name of a brand who spread smiles around the globe was named. Okay, you guys are laughing at it, right? At least you're happy, right, listening to that name. So it was a perfect name for a company who spread smiles across the globe. Okay, so coming back to the story of Gulbonda, we wanted a product, right? So after the first failure, Ritwik and I, with our leftover money, we took a day break and we went to an artisan's village in Vadagara. I hope some of you guys have heard about that place in Kozhikode. Okay, we went there. There's a craftsman village there, and there was this guy who made toys out of wood. Okay, they were Channapatna toys. If I don't know if you guys know that name, but you've seen that small toys which have only 3 colors or something like red, yellow, green. You guys have that in all those Rajasthani exhibitions. See that, right? We buy that top thing, like a Beyblade. We used to, yeah, you guys know that. those things have only 3 colors or something because they are using natural dye, right? So they were parents, and it was on a weekend, it was on a Sunday, and we went there and we just sat there. And we was noticing people going around that artisans village, and none of them went inside. Okay, the parents were telling the kids that there's nothing interesting to see here. It's just the old wala toys. Okay, what is interesting to see here? So Ritwik and I sat on that desk, and we were wondering why these guys are saying like that. It's like, I like these kuti items. Okay, I like cartoons. I obviously like. I have an obsession of collecting keychains also, and they obviously make a lot of keychains. So I told Ritwik that let's go inside and take a look. So we saw that their products doesn't have much quality, right? If you have seen that, they are all handmade, right? They don't have the perfect finish, and they are only limited to 3 to 4 colors mainly. So when we are going back to our home in the bus, that's when we researched on these toys. Okay, so we knew that they were only limited to 2 to 3 colors, and they lacked a perfect finish. So when we went back home, I told Ritwik that I know how to make this product better. Okay, I know how to make this interesting. So let me do one thing. Let's bring in more colors, and let's design a product. Okay, and I wanted to pursue my animation career, right? So I wanted to build characters out of these toys. Okay, so I named, there's this story of Gulbonda. I'll tell you, the story of Gulbonda is that Gulbonda is actually a faraway planet. It's a fictional story which I and Ritwik made, and a planet where people had dreams. So we were really lonely at that time. Okay, you've seen all the successful business and everything, but entrepreneurs really get lonely at times. Okay, that's when the artistic thing that happened. Like, these artists when they feel lonely, they make masterpieces, right? So that's what happened with us. And I've designed a few characters out of wooden dolls, and I've named these characters. And the first thing that we did was, we have the experience of going to a flea market at Bangalore. So Ritwik and I told, with the leftover money, let's go to a flea market. Okay, so those kuti toys that you see right down on that chart paper, those are characters made out of the story of Gulbonda. Okay, those are guys from the planet Gulbonda. Okay, that is Max, and the other character is Laura. Everyone has a dream. Max is a football player and Laura is a writer. So we had this story, and we launched on 9 September 2018 at Indiranagar, Bangalore. And we had a friend working in Amazon, and our friend helped us to build an Amazon, like how to list our product on Amazon also. But I'll tell you, none of the products were sold. Okay, that's when the next thing hits your head. Like you can see that it was sold for 599.
Actually, the rent was 10,000. So you can see a tent.
Yeah.
Right? So the rent for the tent was 10,000, and we made like 2 sales.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll tell you how we made that sale. Okay, one was a girl who read books. Okay, she came along with her mom, and I had this character called Grandpa George. Okay, and there was a little cat on his feet. I only made one, actually, that character, and she came along, and she really liked those characters and the idea of Gulbonda, the story, everything. I was really, I believed that story myself, and so I had a lot of children roaming around in my tent, actually. It was crowded, but with children. So one of a child's mom came to me, and she told me, my daughter reads a lot of books. She's fond of Harry Potter and characters and things like that. So she told me, which character would I adopt? So it was like a more than shop now. I put a board, adopt your Gulbondian. Okay. So she came there and she told me, like, I read books. I need a character from your Gulbonda, and which would it be? So I was like, go ahead, you look at all the characters and you adopt one from there. So this Grandpa George was standing there on the box, and she took him and she told me, I choose Grandpa George. And I was like really happy. This kid actually believed my story. And I was really happy that her mom also bought it for her. Okay, she told me where would I keep. I told her this character is really good at reading bedtime stories. So she liked it and she actually bought it. Okay, just one sale. I would say none sale, but just one sale we made. Okay, and there was this auntie who made lamps out of some recycled material or something, and she also took one Gulbondian and gave us some money. So we had like 600 1200 rupees with us. Okay, that's what we earned from that flea market. I would say none. We didn't make much sales. So we went back home and we didn't know what to do. We fought at that last with the other partners to stand in a flea. Now we have a product, we touched that product, we know this is good quality, but what just happened? We were like, we don't know what to do. So our friend told me, you do one thing, you list these products on Amazon. So I didn't want to compromise on anything. Okay, the product, the quality, anything. After the first failure, we decided that even the prototype would be like 90% of the product. Most of the startups build prototypes which is like 50% or 40% of the actual product, but ours were like 90% of the product, just the packing to be designed. All our packaging that you see on that picture, no, behind that chart, those are not like manufactured by machines. Those are all manufactured by us. We made it with our hands. That Gulbonda name, the logo, I was a designer by myself. So what we did was like we took glue and gum and everything and we made those boxes. So it actually looked like a branded product. So it was easier for us to list on Amazon. So we were making none sales on Amazon also. But one day, what happened is that we went for a movie, Ritwik and I. Movie doesn't take too much money, right? So we went for a movie and we were searching. We didn't have much money. So we wanted to really research on the movie before we go. So there was this movie called, Malayalam movie called Varathan, and the other movie was 96. Okay? Tamil movie 96. So I knew people were putting status and things on WhatsApp that this is huge, this is a very good movie, you guys should, we saw all the reviews because we didn't want to waste our precious money on anything and we wanted to watch the perfect movie. So we told, before going to the movie, I had this idea in mind. Okay, these are characters, right? These are people, these are characters. So why not make the characters from the movie as dolls? So we went to the movie and we watched the movie and I was like, between the movies I was watching that 96 characters, Vijay Sethupathi and Trisha. So I was noticing their costumes and everything. And people say that I matched that costume for Janu from the movie, but that was long before we went for that movie itself. That coincidentally happened. So I went there, I noticed all their patterns and I made the Ram Janu dolls. Okay. So what to do next? I made these characters, all right. We have listed our products on Amazon, but zero sales. So what happened is that at that night, we took this decision to showcase this Ram Janu doll on Instagram. Okay, we had 0 followers, just one, I think, my neighbor. Yeah, I had that too. I asked him to follow my Instagram account. Okay, so I had this. He still tells me that you should always treat me every time because I'm your first follower. So I told him to follow my account, and what we did was we posted this picture on Instagram. It was a Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night around 8 or something. I clearly remember. It was really emotional. That's why I really clearly remember. So I put the caption something like 96 dolls or something. I put it in the story, and we were we actually left really late from that tuition center. Okay. When we were working, there was music classes going on there. There was Sa Pa Sa happening, and we were like Gulbonda like this. Okay, so it was a tuition center kind of thing. So it was Saturday. Obviously, it was on top of a bus stand actually. So when it got late, there were none of the people. It was like really scary. So he used to drop me at my home, So we just posted it, and before we locked the door, there was this message on Instagram. It was one of the cast from the movie. She shared this Gulbonda doll on Instagram. Like, really love this, something like that. Oh, so we told him that somebody saw that actually. It was like we were really happy that somebody, some celebrity kind of a person saw our dolls. Okay, so when I returned to home happy, even though we didn't make any sales or something, somebody just saw our product, right? So we went back home, and I was having dinner. It was like past 10 or something, and he was going home. And I heard this buzzing sound in my phone. It wasn't stopping. It was going like ting, ting, ting like that. And I was like, what is happening? So I just opened my phone, and there was Trisha Krishnan who messaged me, how can I buy these dolls? And I was like, at that time, how can I buy this doll? And I was like, what just happened? She was like, Pav, she's asking me, like, I know you guys have worked on this a lot. How I need 3 pair and all. I was like, none of them sold in this flea market. She wants 3 pair and all. And I was jumping with joy, that the hallelujah feeling, right? You know, I was like, oh my God, you have given me like that. I literally cried there, and my mom didn't know what is happening. So she was like, I told my mom, see, Trisha Krishnan has asked for 3 pairs of dolls. She was like, yeah, okay. So I went back home. I didn't finish my dinner. I went back home, locked my door, and I was checking the messages. The messages just kept on flowing in Instagram, okay? So many people. So it seems that Trisha Krishnan had posted on Twitter with the title Ram and Janu dolls in the market. Can you imagine what would have happened after that? Okay. But you need that zing in your mind to use that opportunity, right, when it comes. If I have just given 3 pairs of Ramjanu dolls to Trisha, this wouldn't have made it till here, right? So that's when Ritwik's brain started working. So I told him, just see your phone. He was like, I'm really tired, I want to sleep and all. So I was like, I was constantly texting Trisha, and I didn't sleep that night. He actually slept that night, okay? Next morning, it was a Sunday, and there was music classes going on. You guys know the Sapasa music like that, and me and Ritwik was constantly, we were like messaging the customers, yes, where would these, like how can we buy this? So that's when that Amazon.in clicked to Ritwik's mind. We already have a seller account on Amazon, so we have to convert these sales, right? Or else we are going to get broke once again. So he told me, like, list your products on Amazon. So actually the idea was one of our friends, that the person who's standing besides us is also an alumni of
He was
Amrita.
actually my classmate, so he's our schoolmate as well. So
Yeah.
he helped us with building the Amazon handle.
Yeah, so he told us, what are you guys waiting for? Just list your products and start getting sales now. Make money, dude. We are becoming rich. So he was like really into this. So like we were getting sales. So the next day Ritwik didn't sleep. So I was like, I am bad with numbers. So Ritwik is the person who's all with numbers and money and financial part. So the next day, Ritwik's phone was actually connected to the Amazon account. So he also got this ting ting sound in his phone.
Actually, we priced it at 1,200 rupees for a single pair.
Yeah.
Okay, on the first day, we got like 120 orders in one go.
Yeah.
Okay, so she thought like it's like 10,000 rupees or something. I calculated the amount and I just showed him. You already got this much money. Okay.
1,200 into 120. You can imagine that, right? People going broke, and you're making huge amount of money overnight, right? But I've told you, people, some things doesn't happen overnight, but things happen overnight to people who know how to use that opportunity when that happens, right? You just roll your sleeves and you get ready to, seize that moment, okay? That's why I told you, if I just sold 3 pairs to Trisha, Gulbonda, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you, sitting here in front of you, right? So we had this Amazon account and we constantly got sales. The next thing was, those products are actually hand painted, okay? Wooden hand painted doll, all hand painted by myself, okay? So we had this delivery period of 2 to 3 days or something.
No, we
So
had it for like 1 week delivery time.
Yeah.
So the thing was like we were continuously getting this 120 orders for like 5 to 6 days continuously.
yeah,
What happened after is that I think once we get some around like 1,000 orders, so my Amazon account got crashed.
yeah,
Because we aren't sending any products, the orders are coming in. So still we had a calculation in mind. We want to, we can't get a loan if we go to a bank, right? Because we don't have anything to show on. So what we did is that, so once my Amazon account is crashed, I think it's like 900 or 950 orders.
yeah.
The account
Amazon
will go up.
actually got confused. Where is this coming from? Because these guys are nowhere to be seen on Amazon. Like just yesterday they listed their product and they are getting sales over like 120, like 360 orders per day or something. However, like they told, they send us a message that this is doubtful, something like that, technical error. We are.
She was actually happy for that. Because
Yeah, I was really happy because I don't have to pay in these 320 things, right? The making money thing was not going through my head, okay? I was like, he was looking at me like this, you will paint, no? Like all these 360 pairs. It's not 360 dolls, it's 360 pairs, 360 pairs. Like, okay, so he was looking at me, you will paint, no? He didn't know how to hold the brush itself. So, yeah, so I told him, like, if the Amazon.in website has crashed, at least we'll have a small break to produce the earlier sales that had come, no? So, what happened is like, that guy who's standing beside us, no? He told that, you idiots, you use my Amazon account, no? You become a seller on my Amazon account. He was like really happy. And again, the sales were back on. I was like constantly painting and he knew that this is not getting anywhere. Because hand-painted dolls and all these orders, how are we going to manage? We didn't sleep for a month maybe, right?
Actually,
Not properly.
We
We
got
just
some
took...
local support as well. So we like there was like Chetan Chechi like next home. So we asked them to come and help. So we guide them. So somehow we after 5 days we just dispatched the first set.
Yeah, he also took brush and paint and he used to paint all the
I
base
was
coat.
actually faster than her.
Yeah, because I was the artist and he wants to make money, no? So we turned into machines actually. He made me do that actually. So he was the leader and that's why he becomes the CEO of the company, because he says, we understand, we have to. He has the vision and he knows how to make money. So he knows how to, get back on your feet again after you face a failure or something. So we painted like over a lot of dolls, right? We were making news. So I got this message from Trisha actually. I asked her, can you put a picture on Instagram or something holding these dolls? So she told me, I'm not in a well-dressed, I'll post a picture. And she posted a picture and she told me, she messaged me, you guys are making news. So I didn't know what that meant. I knew that we are making a lot of sales. Maybe customers are like constantly talking to each other. But that was not the thing that happened. What we were actually making news. Okay? Yeah. So we were all over the internet and I kept constantly getting calls from media people and like, can you talk to us for a second? Are you guys making dolls right now? I don't want to disturb you, but please give us some time and all. Like, we were people who were hidden, or we were invisible people. So when this happened, we were getting calls from media people. So there was this time when I was really struggling. I told you there was a lot of familial pressures, right? So I was asking, even though I didn't build a company or something, we were clearly, there was this brand inside our head, even though we didn't make any money, and we had this vision that we would make news someday. And I even asked my mom when she scolded me, if I come in an article or a news, what would I tell them? You supported me, or should I tell them that? and you guys know what I actually told the media people? I told them that they were the biggest pressures in my family. Because I didn't want that lie to spread. Because every time, like not all parents or not all your guardians doesn't understand you. So I don't want that lie to become true, right? When you ask a person who is your biggest support or something, uh, some people might say my mom and dad, but they will be like constantly disturbing them to stop them and all. So I told the media people that no, my mom and dad were not supporting this thing, and they wrote it actually. It was something there. It was there in the article. You can just check articles on 96 Gulbonda dolls, and you'll see one Times Now or something. No, Times Now News actually wrote Calicut-based entrepreneurs Ritwik and his wife Pallavi. They actually wrote it. Okay, we were not even married. We were 23, 24, right?
We're
Yeah.
23 we were.
Yeah. And they wrote wife Pallavi, okay, and that actually spread across my family group and everything. Did this happen without us knowing? And they were like, no, they wrote it. They couldn't do anything. Like at that time, Your Story Tamil, actually a media person from that called us, and they were in love with Ritwik and myself, and they told me what's your story, like they asked me what's your story and all. I told them that there are pressures from our family, and they only heard a few things, like media people, you know, and they wrote in a magazine that support these guys. These guys are having familial issues, the love of Ritwik and Pallavi, and like that something came. No, we didn't know how to read Tamil and all, so we didn't know what happened. So many of the people were like messaging us. So we took that opportunity and we made sales, and we took our first step, and that's how we built our first brand. The Gulbonda actually became a brand, and it became popular, okay, with the Ramjanu dolls. So the next thing was how to scale up. So I've been telling you guys that I had to hand paint these dolls, right? So those were characters, and we were making sales for these Ramjanu dolls. So we can survive with the revenue of the Ramjanu painted dolls. But people constantly asked us, do you personalize these things? At that time, personalizing was limited to cups. Then what you say? You see a lot of keychains, cups and all, right? Mugs, personalizing things like that. So we told them no. I told them no, we don't personalize, because you have to mix a lot of paint, right? If you have a colorful dress, then dead. Okay, you have to mix a
The
lot.
same thing happened again. So she told like we can't personalize. So what I did is like I listed two products. I listed two personalized product. That is, one was single and a couple product.
He actually did that. Okay. I told him I'm not going to paint this. I'm not going to mix a lot of, for one single person you have to mix a lot of colors, right? If he's wearing a very colorful dupatta, I have to mix pink and blue and everything, right? Like that. And for the next person, I have to color another set of paint. So he didn't want to stop that. He actually listed two products on Amazon, personalized single figurines and personalized couple figurines. So I had to paint that. So this was not going to scale up actually, you know. So we had to think from another angle. Okay, that's how we actually bought in. We actually invited one more person to join our company. She was a neighbor of ours. She was helping us to paint these dolls. Okay, she was our first team member. Okay, she was a Muslim girl, and she wanted, like, she was really poor and she wanted some opportunity to make money. So we actually gave her an opportunity to grow along with us. So she got some amount of money from us for each doll she painted, and she was our first team member. So
Actually, we got an exponential growth after that. So the orders was continuously increasing. So what we did is like we started hiring again and again. We started getting people from nearby art colleges. So what happens is like from this stage to this stage, whenever you go, you want three more people to paint the
Yeah.
dolls. So after we did it for almost 1 to 2 years, so the team size was becoming larger and larger. So we need people to manage these people.
Yeah.
So after one and a half year, we totally understand this. This is not going to auto scale. This is not going to scale its own.
yeah,
Because,
we needed actually many more people to paint these much painted dolls. Every we actually converted all these orders into batches. So 3 people would actually, people would do the base coat, one person would sketch, one person would do the detailing. So it was like a machinery process that is happening inside the brand. But for every batch you have to make three people, team of 3 to work, right? For to make 20 dolls you need 3 people. For 40 dolls you need another 3 people, no? So imagine how many people we would have to hire in order to scale up the business. Okay, so we knew that this is not going to scale up, right? There was material waste. Like I told you, if I mix paint for a person, that paint I cannot use it for another person next day. There was a lot of waste that is producing, right? Paint waste, the human resource is getting like wasted, and our time for scaling up a business is also getting wasted. So we decided to, okay. So in 2019, Gulbonda entered the personalized gifting market. So when Ritwik listed 2 products on Amazon, single and couple, we wanted the orders to come flowing in, right? So we can't survive with this hand painted dolls. So we had to rethink again. Okay, we didn't stop there. We entirely shifted the design to another model. Okay, many people were telling us that this is not relatable, or like the Gulbonda dolls were actually really cute, but they wanted something more personalized. So the Gulbonda dolls didn't have hands. The ones you see on the middle, right? They are replicas of the olden wooden Gulbonda dolls with the big head, and they don't have hands. The design doesn't have hands, right? So what we did is we again designed the figurines into a new design which had hands and hand gestures. So that's how our new product came in, which is, the style is called as Honolulu. Okay, so the one in the middle are the Gulbondians, and the one on the right is called the Honolulus. Okay, by end of year 2021, we developed two new designs like this. Okay, yeah. So the new product was actually is not hand painted. So we reduced the number of labors. It was easier to dispatch every product in a very lesser time, which means more sales and less time. Okay.
It's actually a scalable model.
Yeah.
So as I told you, in order to scale a business, you need to maintain the initial cost static, and you need to increase the production. Okay, you need limited number of people to work with you, and the production must be higher in order to match up with the sales.
Okay. So now I'll tell you how the brand became popular. Okay. So our brand is, the word Gulbonda actually means something to our customers. Okay, we actually make people, right? So our USP is that we make people, we make the happiest version of themselves. Okay, the photo might be like this, and our Gulbonda will be smiling. Okay, if you give us like, that is our unique selling point. If a person opens a Gulbonda box, it might be your friend or you yourself in the most cutest and smiling version of you. Okay, and we also had a personalized letter along with it. Each letter was handwritten. Okay, so that added a value to the product, right? So another thing is that this is a scalable model, right? We can make more products in lesser time. So I told you, you have to seize the moment. When you get that zing in your mind, no, now you know that this is a scalable product. Now you look for other opportunities with the same product, right? So you just can't just keep on serving the customers. You are obviously making sales, right? But your brand should be known to people. Okay, you have to bring that credibility to your product. So that's how what happened is, we actually, with our new product Honolulu, which is the one with the hands, we used we designed different hand gestures and everything. And what we became from just being serving to our customers, we actually became the RRR Movies official merchandise gifting partner. We are also the official merchandise for Little Things, Dice Media Little Things. So that was huge opportunities. Okay, if they ask them, previously we used to get corporate orders and everything with the hand painted wooden dolls, and they used to ask this, can you make this much of products? And we were like, no, because they are hand painted, right? We can't make it. But with this product and this idea, we can manufacture a lot of products. So that's when the next thing, seizing the opportunity, comes in. You have to see that opportunity with your product. You have to always constantly rethink about using the same product in different, branching out into different wings actually. So we have a special wing for promotions, movie promotions. We have a special wing for customers, where we personalize customers. We have a special wing for promotional and everything. So every person who is in contact with us knows our story, and they know that we are not going to give up on this thing. So we constantly innovate these products, right? So we have an opportunity with RRR. We also were the gifting partner for KGF Chapter 2. And we became celebrities' favorite gifting brand. Okay, so we even make movie merchandises. We gift characters from the movie to every cast and crew of the movie, and ours is a really good way to promote their movie, because this is a very unique idea and people would have never seen such products. So we use these products for promotions. You can see Vidya Balan's movie characters from Jalsa movie and that Tumari Sulu. We have done for Minnal Murali. We have done for Hridayam the movie. We have done for RRR, KGF, every movie, popular movie that you know. Okay, so how did a hand-painted doll became scalable? First thing you have to think about that. If I would have just stuck with that hand-painted product, this would never happen.
Actually, it doesn't mean that the new product is easy to make. Okay, so you guys would have think we got a lot of money in the beginning, right? We got like 1,000 orders in one account. So what we did is we took all this money, we started building systems in order to make the new product. We started building big databases with a lot of designs. So we spent almost all the money that we got into R&D, and we made a particular promotional wing, we made contacts, and there also comes a big thing called networking, right? So that's really important.
Very important. So, you are in a very prestigious college right now. So, Akshay, I showed you in that picture, right? He was the person, he actually worked in Amazon. He was an intern at Amazon. He was the person who helped us make the Amazon account. Okay, so it was the power of networking. Okay, networking with people around you. So when you pass out from these batches, so what happens is that you have to network with each other. You make friends right from college. So you have to keep the network strong. You ask each other where you're working. So at one point of time, that person will come to help.
Actually, your friends will be the only support system in the first 2 years. Your family will definitely not support you when you leave your job and come back home. So
they won't welcome you with 2 hands. They will welcome with you with 2 hands like this and this. But
actually, when we go to the flea markets, right, in Bangalore, so I have my friends from Calicut, so 3 of them will come from Bangalore, 1 will come from Chennai. So they were doing labor work for us. They'll come with all the covers, they'll stick the tent and everything.
Yeah, that tent was not actually designed and done by, do you guys think that we would have made it so far with only being just 2 people? No. That's when the power of networking comes. You build trust with your brand, right? You never cheat anybody, or the first thing that we notice, customer is always right. Okay, so if I had stick to just they said that we need personalized personalized products. If I said no, I'm not going to, I'm an artist, I'm very stubborn, I'm not going to make personalized thing, the customer needs, you have to find opportunities from what customer says also. And if the customer says that the color of the dress is not matching, he is right. So what we do is that we get back the product to our to our office, we redo it once again and we send it back to them. That's how we build that trust. Okay, they know that we are not going to fail them anywhere, right? We ship them in correct. We have proper team inside our inside our company who are designated to certain opportunities, so they take care of it. Okay.
I think we have already taken 3x more time than the session, right?
Yeah. Some point in your life, this will definitely click to your mind when to seize that zing which comes. Okay. So I would like to wind up this session, but you have to take a few points with you. One is that to seize the opportunity, okay, build a scalable business, definitely, okay, otherwise it will be a small business which is going to close. I won't say that small business is wrong or something. If making cakes is something, if that is your passion, you scale that business to several franchisees, okay, like I would say you've heard about McD, right? McDonald's, okay, that is it's a fast food company and it's a franchisee company, okay. It started with two brothers. Anybody seen that movie Founder? You've seen, right? It's there on Netflix or Amazon. Go watch it if you are interested to know more about. I would suggest a few movies for you. One is Founder and the other one would be the story of Joy Mangano. You can just search it. The movie name is Joy, okay? Because these were the inspirations that we took in our brains when we were alone and lonely. Like, we needed ideas and inspiration, right? So these movies are something that you should definitely watch if you are going to start a company on your own. How they built how did McD go from one small shop to a, $1 million, $1 billion business, having franchisees all over the world, okay? So, do you want to add anything?
I think everybody is about to leave, right? So it's already 7. So I think we can slowly wind it up.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you guys have any questions?
Everybody is about to leave.
Oh.
Excuse me. First of all, thank you. Thanks a lot for such a wonderful story. Like,
Yeah.
it was like actually watching a movie.
Thank you so much.
Because that passion was very visible in your eyes also while saying that story. So
Thank
we
you.
actually feel that.
Yeah, I'm really happy that some of you might be inspired from our story. You'll be taking points in your head, right? Someday, like, I wish I would get a small class like this when I was back in college. They told me, you go for this architecture profession, you go do that, you design building. I really wished that something like this would have happened in my college. So you guys should say a big thank you to whoever, like, who is behind this, AYUDH especially, right? Yeah. For giving you this opportunity to listen to us all these hours. I didn't know how to, there were like, if you think this has gone so much long, this is, I cannot, I cannot limit all this story and the learnings to only this 10 to 15 slides or something. It's not that, like, it was not easy for me to what to tell you guys, where to limit the slides and all. So this is definitely going to get into your mind someday if you're going to start a venture on your own. Definitely, you can connect with us. I'll just, okay, I'll just, show this slide. So in case if you need any help or something, you can just connect with us in that email ID. I'll be there in pingstudio24@gmail.com and to Gulbonda for Ritwik, okay? Or just type in to Gulbonda people. They'll, if you didn't get replies from these email, just go type Gulbonda people@gmail.com. There are people who will definitely going to help you. All right. So we'll somehow connect one day, and I wish everyone a bright future, and may you reach great heights, everybody. Okay. There's a reason why you are here. I definitely believe, like that 96 thing that happened, no? Some of you guys will definitely remember this day when you are going through that struggles and something you are going to remember that I painted.
You'll be getting only one chance in your business life.
Definitely.
You need to nurture it.
You have to take care of that baby. When that happens, no, that thing, I cannot tell you when it will happen for you. It'll be like when you will be working in a company like Ritwik, or when you realize that dream, no, you have to seize it definitely. When that thing happens, that there is no turning back, and that courage will definitely come. Our failure was our pain, actually. We converted that into power. It's from a song, I know, but definitely, you will definitely understand, okay? So in case if you need any help, my team will be happy to guide you. gulbondapeople@gmail.com in case if you didn't get us in the other emails, okay? Thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
I'm really happy, yeah.
So thank you so much, Amrita and Ayudh, for having us here. So it's really honored coming back to your college and giving a presentation. Like I think I've been here in your seats before.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Previous presentations, yeah.
No,
Exactly. I was here, I think, like in Amriteshwari Hall. So we used to go for presentations like this. So I'm so happy to do this and wishing you all the best.
yeah.
Any quick questions?
Anybody?
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you define success as an entrepreneur, and what all are the marketing tactics you take to find out new customers, to reach the new customers?
Okay. So success, the term is like very, very wide, right? So success for Pallavi is different, for me is different. For my success is like in India, I need to make sure that 1 in 3 person, they should know about Gulbonda. So in her case, it's like she need to innovate more and more products.
I'm a designer basically,
Yeah.
so I need to know myself as a designer, right? Like I need to know myself an entrepreneur. Pakshe, I would say, I would be really happy to become the greatest designer ever who made innovative products like this. You should watch the movie Joy, then you'll understand. Okay?
And regarding the marketing tactics, so you all know that Google and Meta, they are the major marketing for all the startups, right? Major platforms in order to advertise and everything. Okay, so the only thing is that currently content is the king. So how many content you get, so how quality is that, what is the quality of a content? So like we put quality content as ads in all the platforms possible. Okay, and also one more thing is like currently influencer marketing is one of the biggest marketing tactic.
One thing is that, and the major thing that you have to make sure is never lie to yourself. I would say that again, never ever lie to yourself, because in your head something else is happening, and never say that I know. Never nod your head in a class or maybe in life. Okay, if somebody says a term or a word, like I'm telling you a word like an entrepreneur and I've not defined it, you can't just say like this. Okay guys, you know, everybody knows about entrepreneurship, and you guys will be nodding your head like this. Don't ever do that if you are going to become an entrepreneur. We say that we don't know if we don't know. That's how you learn things. Okay, never lie to yourself. That's the first thing that you're going to do, and you will definitely stand up on your feet again if you are ready to admit your mistakes. And one more thing, if you are taking this decision to become an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, it's a choice. Actually, I told you, getting a 9-to-5 job or getting into a corporate world or starting your bakery or starting your another shop is not, it's all based on a choice. I took this choice and it was right for me. Okay, so never lie to yourself. That's the biggest thing I wanted to tell you guys. Never nod your head in class or in life. Okay, say that you don't know. That's how you learn. The fastest way to learn things. And never be afraid of talking to a person. Like I know there are many of your classmates who have left home, right, today. So many people, right? Some may be like very hesitant to talk to us, maybe not us, or like you have to approach the power of networking. I told you, right? From the first movie, we networked ourselves to the other movie. We build trust. We never lie to customers. We are true, we how to build that customer trust and the power of networking. I'm telling you, Don't say that you know things if you don't, and there is nothing to worry about, nothing to, if you are meeting a celebrity or a person, just see, my hands will be shaking like this, no? If you meet the Prime Minister, just remember in your head that he is a human, right? He is the human. I used to be scared of people, right? I might be speaking in front of you like this, but I was not like this in my college. I was really shy. I was not a person you would see anywhere. I was the person who went home, actually. Okay? So many of you went home today, right? So I believe that you guys are here for a reason. I was the person who went home, and now I'm sitting here. I wish I would have sat, and I wish I could network to a lot of people back then. So use your college, use that networking power in your college. Your college is really best at it, because you guys are having a lot of friends from different location, good professors, right? That's what your college offers. So, welcome that with both hands and take that opportunity, seize that opportunity. This will come in handy, definitely. Your teammates, your friends, they'll be becoming businessmen. Some will be good at coding. They can make you a website. Like the power of networking, and never lie to yourself. These are the 2 points. Any doubts?
Any more questions?
Maybe offline they will be here.
Yeah, definitely. If you
we
have
can end the
questions, you
session
can just
right now.
email. Okay?
Sure. So I think we'll wind up now.
Yeah, thank you, sir and ma'am. It was a really wonderful session, and we loved it so much. Especially you've given us a lot of tips on how to build a startup, and especially many of our doubts was how the funding comes up. Like you explained it very much. You've explained very much those investors, angel investors, and stuff like that, and also the story was so beautiful. And you said if you you said about how, thinking of limiting it. I'm sorry, if you had limited it. So if you had limited it, I don't think it would have been so beautiful, and we would not have been sat sat here so attentively. So this was we just what Akshay sir said, we were in the movie mode, we were imagining things whatever you were telling, and exactly how your tuition teacher said, you're an excellent storyteller. And thank you so much for the session, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Next time I'll be sitting in one of your conferences or something. Right? Let's meet there, actually. Okay? Thank you all for coming here, and yeah, I can see a lot of smiling faces. Thank you. This is what I'm going to take home
This
today.
was some way helpful for you, or maybe in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Some things won't make sense to you now. That's for sure. Okay? So that's why I've added my email. Anytime, any help, you just email me. Okay? I'll definitely let any of my team members message you. Okay? They'll definitely help you. All right? Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
so
ma'am.
much.
We all came here knowing just single word, entrepreneur, and maybe the second word, startup. Now we know much more about it. Not completely, but still you guys give a lot of information about it.
Thank you
so much.
It's a broad topic, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I told you. If you need any help, just email. Okay?
Thank you so much.
And there's Google also. Definitely.
So I invite our Amritesh sir to hand over a token of love and appreciation to our guests.
We'll just switch it off, right?
I can switch it off.
Thank you, sir.
See you guys someday like this. Okay, I'll be sitting in a conference and you guys will be
Definitely
speaking.
expect a message in future.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not going to remember any of your names, but definitely. Okay, I'd love to see you there. Becoming a marketing leader. Okay? Okay.
Kindly raise for Shanti Mantra. ॐ लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Thank you everyone for being with us here, and thank you sir, thank you ma'am.
Thank you. And I'm going to tell you these mantras are definitely going to help in your life. Definitely. We went for yoga actually because